each company received invitations from 2 camps. Now keep in mind, we had no idea about these camps because to begin with our relationship wasn't good, and they didn't tell us. They never discussed the camps. And so I think Jerome and Roa were the 2 camps in Arkansas. Each company received invitations from the people of Roa, Arkansas. I think the whole battalion went there. Each company sent, about 15 men or so. And by coincidence, when we lined up, we're all from Hawaii. Not a single mainlander. And for the most part, we were non-commissioned officers or opinion molders. I was a corporal at that time, so I was one of those invited. And we thought, well, we're going off to Roa, and there's a large Japanese community. So we didn't know the community was in a camp. And so we got ourselves all gussied up, getting ready for a weekend with young ladies. We had our ukuleles with us and our guitars, and we left Mississippi early in the morning because it was going to be a long drive into Arkansas. Then I remember when we turned the corner, the bend of the road, and the valley came into view. And what we saw was row after row of barracks. Now we thought this was a military camp and that we're going to pass that to go someplace else. But no, we came up to this camp and stopped. High barbed wire fences, and there are machine gun towers all around the camp with men there with machine guns, and greeting us at the camp, at the gate, were men in uniform with rifles and bayonets. We are in uniform. And I thought, what in the world is happening? Then you look into the camp, and there they were. And then it dawned on us what had happened. And at that moment, thank God, the men had the good sense not to search us. I can imagine if the guards began searching us, I think we would have had some bloodshed around there. But then the gates were open, and we were escorted in. And we found that these barracks had been vacated by families who either doubled up with other families so that we could stay in the barracks. And we said, no, we'll sleep in a truck, so in the mess hall. And we tried our best to be happy and sociable, but it's not easy realizing what was happening there. And when we left, the atmosphere was totally different, because when we arrived, we were all singing and playing ukuleles and having a great time. And when we left, it was absolute silence all the way to Mississippi. No one talked. And I can imagine what was going through their minds. And I think almost all of us must have asked ourselves, would we have volunteered? No, that's a good question.
And when you got
when we got back, we could hardly wait to tell the fellas. And this was what they anticipated. And so overnight, the regiment was formed. Next morning, you had the 442nd.